absolutely. Fittingly enough, RuPaul is playing in the background, and he has this great saying that if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? And I think the same is true of empowering other people. You need to have faith in yourself and your own abilities. You need to be able to role model what that empowerment and being empowered looks like, especially for students.
I absolutely think we should empower ourselves. It's the core to how we learn to give to others.
Absolutely. The more that you are happy and fulfilled and healthy, then the better that you can be for anybody else. So it's an absolute first step to empower self before you can empower others.
I think you need to have a great confidence in you. So if I say about myself, I should have a great confidence in me as a teacher, as a person. And I know when I teach my students, that will show in many ways.
I do believe that it's good to be empowered because you need to know the future. I think empowering, like being empowered is a good thing because you can help other people experience different things.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're empowered, you have the ability to make your own choices. You have the ability to feel good about yourself.
I think the issue of empowerment is very important for instructors and for teachers who work with students closely, because essentially if we feel that this is going to reflect on our students, for them to have the power to make decisions and choices that are beneficial to their own, we have to be citizens ourselves in kind of understanding these structures and also implementing knowledge in a way that students can find conducive to their own lives and to their own scenario.
Yeah, and yes. I think for me in the position that I have, which is chairing the department, there isn't a way for me to do my job without having some sense of confidence or sense of self. I think for me, empowerment is a conversation about having enough self-confidence to do the job that you have in front of you, and to also think and strategize ahead for what's coming down the road.
I think it's very important to be empowered, because if you have reliance in yourself to be like powered up, you can do things that you don't think that you could do. If you feel empowered, you can go beyond your own expectations and a lot of other people's expectations as well.
I do, and I think it's very important to empower others, because I know from my personal experience, whenever I make others happy, I feel more happy myself. And so helping others be more likely to succeed always makes me feel like I can succeed myself.
I think it's extremely important to be empowered if you're going to have be able to help others. Okay, you have to be able to set an example for others, and therefore you start with yourself first, you know. And I believe that in order to start with myself, I kind of have to live by the golden rule. You know, do unto others as you would do unto yourself. And this way, by setting an example and treating others the way that I wish to be treated.
It is definitely important to be empowered. Simply because when you're empowered, you're motivated to go that extra mile. Because if you have nothing to look forward to, then why are we here?
I think it's extremely, as a former teacher, I think it's extremely important to empower yourself, because you've got to have confidence in what you're teaching children, and they're going to take from that confidence from you, especially when you build your trust with them. They're going to really be empowered by your empowerment. They're going to see that you're in charge, you know what you're doing, they're going to feel comfortable with you, and they're going to trust what information you're going to give them. So if you're standing up there and you're doing as empowered as you feel with being a teacher and being involved and surrounded by other empowered teachers, you're going to build that empowerment into your students as well.
Because if you don't empower yourself and fill yourself up with energy, then what energy do you have to give to others?
If you are not empowered and you do not have the self-confidence, there's no way you can empower others. It's very important to have self-confidence before you can give confidence to other people.
Absolutely. It's important because you first have to empower yourself before you can empower others. And in the field of education, the best way to learn is to feel empowered, not to feel intimidated by the work. Otherwise, great learning can't prosper in that environment.
Oh yes. We have to be empowered to be able to actualize our dreams. And so if we don't have a sense of confidence and who we are and direction, then those things that we hold dear to us, those ideals and hopes for our own personal life as well as our professional life may or may not happen. So if you feel empowered, then that gives you a direction and it gives you possibilities.
Oh gosh. So I have a handful of exercises that I do for myself. It involves a lot of positive self-talk, so reminding myself of the things that I'm good at, of the things that I have accomplished, of taking time to appreciate little things about myself that I find positive, that I like about myself.
Well, I think knowledge is a form of empowerment, and so I really try to make an effort to constantly learn new things and learn not just the subject matter, but try to learn more about my students and where they're coming from.
So one way that I empower myself is to remember those who've been special or have somehow empowered me. And one way I do that is with this lovely little sign back here, which was from a high school teacher who noticed that I was having a pretty rough day. And he came over and put that on my desk. And I've always kept it with me as a way of remembering whatever I'm doing, I can have fun.
Oh, well, it starts when I first wake up in the morning. I get up at least an hour before anyone else in the house is going to be up, and I make a cup of tea and I sit down and I read. Usually I read for work, but it's still very enjoyable, relaxing time, just reading and drinking tea.
There's one thing I believe in. There's a reason why I'm here. I'm here right in my office, right on this campus, right in this town. So I try to not to waste anyone's time, also not to waste my time.
I go to sleep at night. I get a good night's rest, unlike some people that I know. What else? I put studying sometimes before friends.
I love to read. So for me, every night, no matter what is going on in my life, I always take a good half hour at least to sit down and read whatever it is that I'm currently reading, because it's a great way to relax myself and to focus on something different than everything that's going on in the world.
I get exposed. I try as much as possible. For me to find a source of empowerment, it means that I have to go out and look for information, look for actual knowledge, look for strategies in teaching, look for strategies in learning as well.
So I try to stay in conversation with people that are smarter than me, who know how to do this job better than I do, who have more experience, and I ask them questions, I talk with them, I get their advice. And the reason that is empowering is both because it sometimes highlights for me that I already know the answer to some of the questions that I'm asking. So they confirm for me that the decisions I've made or I plan on making are ones that they would also make.
I do things that I normally wouldn't do. Like going to unfamiliar places. It makes me feel really good. Knowing that I can get out of my comfort zone and go explore something new.
I like to talk to people and like get their ideas on things and everything like that. And I also like to take hikes and like clear my own mind and listen to music and just try and like calm myself down so I know what to do next.
You know, at the end of the day, I try to reflect on what have I done to help myself as well as others. And a lot of times, you know, there's areas where I feel I can improve on being a better person, and I like to do that by reading. And also, I like to pamper myself every once in a while, you know, where you get the massage treatment and, you know, the fingernails and pedicure.
Personally, I love to write. So in my free time, I write stories, many stories. And so when I write what I see myself as in the future. I like to look at the future and see like, I could be that one day. I could get there. And so when I start writing and thinking about that, it's like an overflow. And I'm filled with joy and I'm like inspired to do what I'm here to do.
You know, it's good to have some downtime, but it's good to have downtime with other teachers who are friends, and you can always work ideas off of each other. You can have a mentor, or you can be a mentor towards someone else to help them become empowered. And they may come up and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this, and you seem to be so good at, can you walk alongside me or give me some tips or something and kind of mentor me through to help me get a little bit more empowered in what I'm doing and a little more confidence build into what I'm doing as well.
I'll focus on things that I'm good at and help share what I can do with group activities or different things, or I'll go on walks when I need to take a break.
It's very important for me personally that I have enough rest in order to feel empowered the next day when I'm teaching, and just making sure I know my stuff.
I believe I can empower myself by knowing that I am capable of achieving the best work that I can, and therefore I should go to other students, in my case since I'm not a teacher yet, just to keep on learning and receive feedback and to just keep on building on my learning. Don't have the mentality thinking that you already know everything, because there's so much to learn always.
I think it is the support of families and friends. So my church community is really important to me, and having community with them is important. My family as well. I do enjoy going home. When I have made a rule, when I leave work, I don't check emails at night, and I try very little to do schoolwork at night, though I will get up early in the morning, like 5. But I used to not do that, but in the past couple of years, and that has helped me. That gives me opportunity to talk to my sons